Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me to this seminar. I thank Mr. Jawahar Unial for inviting me here. And I'm very happy that this physical meeting is happening because I think everybody, we pretend that we are talking to millions of people at each of these webinars, but actually there will be a dozen people. And then, we put it on Facebook and say, yes, I've spoken to 1 million people today. I'm finally very happy that something physical is happening and we can see actual people. So it's a fantastic thing. Thank you so much. And I congratulate the Achievers, International Achievers Conference and All India Achievers Foundation for organizing this seminar on India and economic development and research association and social responsibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall be brief because I made a mess of today's programs. I'm a chief guest at another function at exactly the same time in the house class. So that's why I'm being called first. I'm sorry, I have to leave quickly. Well, I think there are certain things on which we all agree that Dr. Manmohan Singh unleashed the energies of this country in 1991 as the Prime Minister of India. And the present government under the leadership of Mr. Narendra Modi, we have taken it forward in a big way. There is a continuity. I mean, politics is normal for us to condemn, belittle the achievements of performance of people who have gone ahead of us. No, I think we're all in it together. And there are many people who have contributed a lot to the nation. In fact, my book, which was released recently, Accelerating India, 7 Years of Modi Government, my epilogue is just 2 pages, out of which 1 page I have set apart for paying tribute to people, to all the Prime Ministers of India who have done something good for the country. So I think we all work together. I think the big difference is that in the past 7 years, there has been such an amazing energy in this country, unleashed by a man and by a government which is very determined. We don't live on slogans. This country has lived on slogans for a long time, very long time. It was socialism to begin with in the 50s, following the Soviet model, and went on for a long time. We thought the basic focus was basically on distribution and not really on production. How much can you distribute when more than half the country was starving? The situation in the 50s and 60s was, if a ship with grains didn't come from the US, lots of India would starve. That was the situation. To today, we are far in surplus with our food grain. There is about 900 lakh metric tons of food grains in our godowns. I don't know whether you can say that's a great achievement or not exactly the right kind of a planning, because we have far too much of food grains actually stocked today. But at the same time, we are also distributing. Over the past 2 years, we've been supplying free food, free ration to 80 crore people for the past 2 years. And this will go on till March, and I'm sure if the problems of corona don't disappear, I'm sure this will possibly be extended. So one of the biggest social revolutions in the country is happening here, because that's also a topic. Social responsibilities and development. This government is very clear that it's not enough to grow, but growth is extremely important, because if the focus of the earlier governments was on distribution, the big focus of this government is actually on growth, number one. But the Honorable Prime Minister believes that the fruits of development must reach the last man out there, otherwise development does not make sense. I mean, that is the big key to the big differences. And I don't want to really go into detail. If somebody is really interested, in my book I have done through the entire achievements of Modi government in 7 years in terms of numbers. I've taken 25 sectors, starting with internal security to defense to Swachh Bharat to everything. And all the numbers are there. I've written only 2 chapters. One is on road infrastructure, the other one on information technology, because I was also junior minister for information technology. Others are all written by former secretaries to government of India. Like internal security is written by former Home Secretary L.C. Goyal, and the former defense secretary is written on defense. And the person who did Swachh Bharat, Parameshwar Iyer, is written on Swachh Bharat. And Preeti Sudan, who was a health secretary, is written on health. So these are authoritative documents on what India has done. I mean, if people are interested on what has been the achievements, please read this book. Please read. Today, see, unfortunately, in this age of WhatsApp, we don't read beyond the 3 lines which come up on WhatsApp, and we believe that is the truth. Most of it is fake, let me tell you, most of it. Including what we post, most of it is fake. Please start reading. Reading things beyond the WhatsApp, beyond what appears on the Facebook. I think I keep talking to all these publishers, they say, sir, nobody is buying a book. Nobody. The other day I went to, in fact, to release a book. I was a chief guest and the book was expensive, $1,200, so I was gifted a book. I returned the book and I said, I'm buying one. It's the least I can do as a person launching this book. Is it yes or no? So please, who can afford? Who can't afford it? It's as expensive as a pizza, isn't it? $800, $600. And these are books about which we should know. So ladies and gentlemen, even if we take just a couple of achievements of the Modi government, I think it's fantastic. Take for example, when this government came to power, 62% of India did not have toilets. Can you imagine? 800 million people defecating in public. Ambassador, must be a shock for you. And this is one of the first things the Prime Minister said. If you want to bring dignity to the people of India, especially to our women and our girls, the first priority is toilets. And within a time frame, this is exactly what Modi does. He says, by this date I will do it. And within that time frame, it was done. We constructed 10.5 crore toilets, which is 105 million toilets, Your Excellency. 105 million toilets were constructed. And various surveys, people can accuse us politically saying, no, these toilets are not connected to water, they are not being used. No, various surveys have shown that 98% of these toilets are used. So these toilets are used. I mean, this is a pride of people. We put dignity into the hands of people. What is the next big thing? Drinking water. I think it's not getting enough publicity at all. By 2023, every household in this country is going to get a tap water. Portable tap water. I think that's the biggest revolution. And it's happening. Many states have already done it. It's not getting the front page publicity because, you know, for us, the front page of newspapers today, they pick it up. Where do they pick it up? From the social media. Yeah, I put it on the front page. These things are not on the front page of newspapers at all. In fact, this should be the front page news. Providing drinking water to a country which has got 1.4 billion people. And drinking water was the biggest problem leading to millions of deaths from diarrhea and diseases. Take the third one. Your health sector. The kind of infrastructure that is being created during the COVID. From just one laboratory to test COVID, to thousands of laboratories, to be more than self-sufficient in manufacture of the kits and everything that's required, including all the equipment that's necessary, to producing the vaccines. And the kind of infrastructure wellness centers that are being set up right up to the panchayat level in this country. Look at the numbers. I think it's just incredible. And to me, the much bigger thing is the ability of any poor person in this country to walk into any hospital, which they could never dream of. And the government pays 5 lakh rupees, 500,000 rupees is paid by the government, and you are treated at the expense of the government, the last man out there, the poorest man out there. Where does it happen? Your Excellency, have you ever heard of this? Have you heard of this even in the United States where 25% of the people can't afford to go to a hospital because they don't have insurance? Here, any poor man walks into the best hospital. Sorry, if I have to talk about all the achievements of this government, it's going to take hours and hours. Please read my book. Here is a government which has worked with determination, which has ensured that we not only grow, the growth of development reaches out to people, and we are also going to be self-sufficient in certain ways. I was amazed with one of the biggest announcements which the government made day for us today, which was in yesterday's paper, decision of the cabinet. Can anybody tell me what it is? To me, according to me, I think it's the biggest decision that India has made this year. Can anybody tell me?
Marriage age?
Which one?
Marriage age?
No. Microprocessor. It's a heart of India. It's a heart of the electronic industry. And last Wednesday, I raised this question. I said, will the government please start ensuring that we make microprocessors in this country, chips? It's a heart of everything. Because we are completely dependent on China. Day for us today, the government took the decision that we are going to invest $10 billion in manufacturing microprocessor. So this is where it is. And I'm so happy that even Parliament is taken seriously. A question is asked there, and I'm not saying just because I asked this question, this must have been in the process for quite some time, $10 billion. We are putting our money where our mouth is, where our words are. Defense equipments, that's the next big area where we need to make radical reforms. We have now reserved over 100 items for manufacture by the local industry. But we need to do more. We need to know more. There are white elephants in the establishment. There are some big achievements like DRDO. There are some big achievements. But a whole lot of things which need to change dramatically in those organizations. Because I'm in the Defense Consultative Committee. And I visited them and I said, please concentrate on these couple of things in which you are successful. Don't waste your money. Don't spread it over things which you don't work or which you don't have the core competence. So these are the areas in which I think big change is taking place. A lot of people can argue privatization of government companies. Yes, we have scarce capital in this country and we cannot throw it away to organizations which don't work. If Air India is eaten away 65,000 crores of your money, sorry, when you say government is taking away your money, how is it justified? And do you get the best services? No. I fly Air India all the time. No, 65,000 crores eaten away by an organization. Sorry, no, we have better airlines. Give incentives to the private sector. Don't even give incentives. Don't put blocks on the functioning of private sector. They will do well. They will do well. Government should concentrate on areas in which the private sector cannot deliver. There are areas. And that's where Modi government is concentrating. So this, ladies and gentlemen, the whole topic of today, economic development, social responsibility, how that achievements reach out to people to create jobs. Yes, I agree. I'm sure our Congress leader from here will talk about employment. Certainly, we need to create more jobs. I completely agree with you. Our skill development needs to be strengthened so that more people are trained to do things. But let's not put responsibility entirely on the government. Let me tell you. When my mother passed away because of COVID, I got COVID, my wife got COVID. My mother passed away. She came visiting to Delhi and she passed away because of COVID. We said, let's do something in memory of mothers, not just my mother. So we started a scheme called Mother's Meal. We launched it on the 15th of August last year. And we said we're going to serve 1 million meals to people. Where's the money going to come? A cup of coffee from anybody? I'm not. And I'm doing this. Why?